Building looks a lot like it did in 1987 when I graduated, and especially the third floor. Biology has not changed much. We have benches with space between them that seemed okay perhaps in the 70s, but really is inadequate. And what I mean by that is we have long rows of benches, and if students are sitting at those benches, unless you're much smaller than I am, you can't actually walk down between them. And so getting around in the lab, which is the time that I make most of my contact with students, that's when I can be one-on-one, hands-on, visual learning, becomes somewhat difficult unless we make our labs even smaller than they are and try and spread students throughout the lab, which we do some of that now. The new lab will not be built that way. It has little finger islands coming out, and the entire center space is open. So I can walk back and forth, and I can get to a student without having to crawl behind them, try and push between them. Having all of these fingers means that we have an open space in the middle. And that open space means that I can wheel in a specimen on a cart, or have a student or an animal there that we hook up physiologic equipment. Now all the students can be around that and see what's going on. Now they climb over the tops of tables, they're standing on tables, looking down over people, they're down on their knees, trying to be crushed between the benches to be able to see something. Even if I have a lab with 10 students in it, that's a reasonable sized lab, they can't get to where they need to be now. In the new building, 10 students can easily surround in that middle area, and it gives us a lot more flexibility about what we bring in and what we do. You can have a student hooked up to an ECG, everybody can see what's going on, and that can then be projected on a wall. They can see what the traces are, but they can also see the mechanics of how it's done. And I think that will be helpful as they learn some of the technical skills, as well as seeing variations. They can see what this person looks like, we can swap in another person, see they're different, or maybe a different animal, and see the variations that are there, that we really can't do that in our current lab setup.